All right, another receiver. It's been all receiver block here. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, and the calendar, nothing tells the truth like a calendar. We are 23 days away from the start of the regular season. We still don't know what the status of Rashee Rice is. He's facing 8 felony charges in Dallas for the street racing incident. We've seen the video multiple times here on the program. He still hasn't been charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving injuries. That's other felony charges that could be lodged against him. So I decided yesterday it's probably a good idea to start figuring out what's going on. I'm told that the NFL hasn't spoken to him about it. There's been no meeting. There's been no interview. There's no groundswell for paid leave at this point. The feeling from the perspective of player and union is nothing's going to happen between now and week 1. Now, the league may change their mind, but you've got 2 tracks here. One, the criminal charges get resolved over the course of the next 3 weeks and 2 days, and the NFL manages to finalize its process of imposing discipline under the personal conduct policy. That's impractical at this point. First of all, there's no vibe that prosecutors are going to do anything, and even if he would plead guilty today, does the NFL really finalize its process? There's a third party now that issues the final. It's not happening in 3 weeks.
Right.
So the other track is paid leave, commissioner exempt list. No indication, no hint, no suggestion the league is going to do that, even though felony charges, that's one of the ways you end up on paid leave. But think about this, and I've been racking my brain, and if anybody out there can think of an example, let us know. Usually it's paid leave when it's a domestic violence situation. That's what they typically use it for, even though the policy is written in a way that would allow them to put Rashee Rice on paid leave. And 8 felonies, I don't know how many it takes. 34, I don't know. How many felony charges does it take? If there isn't one that deals with some form of violence being inflicted upon a family member or some other person in that type of a domestic setting, the NFL may not activate paid leave. Right now, I think there's kind of a muted, quiet confidence from the perspective of the player that he will be. I'm surprised by this. He will be there week 1, Ravens-Chiefs, when we're in Kansas City to start the season. Barring some sort of an unexpected at this point change by the NFL, that's the way the wind is blowing, Chris. That's what my understanding is based upon some phone calls I made yesterday.
You seem, I always know you know more about these subjects than I do, right? I don't always dig deep into these type of things here. But again, just being a guy that we follow the league the way it is, you can tell, to your phrase, where the wind's blowing at times and all that. Like, yeah, you asked me 6-7 weeks ago. I'm like, there's no way Rashee Rice is going to be there at the start of the year. I don't get a sense at all from hearing anything anywhere that that's going to be a thing. I mean, the more we sit here and the closer we get, the way it seems is like, hey, Rashee Rice is going to be here maybe this whole year. This might be something that goes into next year where he has to pay, some time or miss some games then. But as it sits right now, I don't get the sense that they're going to be without him.
If you don't put him on paid leave, then you are locked into the normal procedure of waiting until the entirety of the criminal justice system runs its course, and then you go back and you do your investigation and you administer discipline that way. Deshaun Watson was different because, there was a criminal process. It resulted in no charges. So then it was over. It was done, and the NFL could embark on that's the highest profile, obviously, personal conduct policy situation in recent years. But with Rashee Rice, it could be a year. Who knows at this point? And once you get into the season, if it's resolved, how long will it take for the league to do its work?
Yeah.
Again, because it's no longer the commissioner as judge, jury, and executioner. The commissioner and the league have their position. It goes to a retired judge who's responsible for having a hearing, reaching a decision, their appeal rights. It's just, in theory, it's possible that something happens this season, but it's looking very impractical that there's any resolution by week 1. And unless Roger Goodell at some point between now and September 5 says, we can't have this guy on the field when 30 million people are watching, because they're going to have to talk about what he's facing off the field. I don't know. Maybe they have to. I don't know. Look, this isn't our department. We're not involved in the game production. You got that video that we've seen on this program many times. Do you play that video? so people understand what Rashee Rice did and what he's charged with doing? I don't know. But if he's there and there's the video, it's a very different vibe than if he's not there. But, somebody made the point to me yesterday, and this makes a lot of sense. It's not like we're not going to cover it even if he isn't there.
Right.
It's not like we don't talk about it. Either way, Rashee Rice is playing despite what happened, or Rashee Rice isn't here, and here's why he's not here. It's going to be hard for the NFL to ignore it week 1 when the Ravens play the Chiefs.
No, I mean, it's going to be impossible. I mean, because you'll definitely have people out there that are going to try to throw that in the face of the NFL and, we're letting this guy play and do all that. So that's going to be there. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be part of the conversation, right? Selfishly, hey, I'd love to see the Kansas City Chiefs as close to full strength as we possibly could see, right, against the Ravens in week 1 and just see the best football, right? But it's going to rub some people the wrong way. I understand that. It's hard. It's hard to govern a league with, over 1,000 players and all of that. And this one, it just, like you said, I'm a little surprised, as quiet as it is, and it doesn't seem like anything's going to be resolved anytime soon.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.